Man, coming into work after a big-time Raiders win, it just hits different. Mitchell Renz here, host of the Raiders Report, and you're watching Overreaction Tuesday. What we're going to be discussing here are the top trending topics after a Las Vegas Raiders major Monday Night Football win over the Packers 17-13. We got to be able to face the facts here. This was not a pretty game by any stretch of the imagination, but all that it took was for you to make plays when it mattered the most, especially on the defensive side of the football. There's a lot of people watching the show right now that are sitting there going, you know what, Love stinks in more than one ways. And yes, Jordan Love is a fraud of a quarterback, and the Raiders exposed him. Amik Robertson said, "You're too small, Jordan Love." Spillane said, "You're too small, Jordan Love," multiple times. It was a major win for the Silver and Black, and man, I don't know about y'all, I am hyped up. I know I'm hyped up, and yesterday's MVP, Ira Jackson, is hyped up too. All right, y'all, let's go. Top trending topics right now. This is the number one thing that I think Raider fans are talking about on social media. Should the nation believe? And this is why I laugh out loud at times, because you lose 3 straight games. You lose a bad game to the Buffalo Bills. You lose a bad game to the Pittsburgh Steelers. You lose a bad game to the Chargers. But after a win, when all the lights are on you, should the Raider Nation believe? I'm only going to give this one 2 just win babies. I'm going to say that I can sit up here and I can give you all the reasons why they should believe. Their defense is playing well. They still have a lot of talent, and if they can get the quarterback position figured out here a little bit, well, then you can go that way. I could also sit up here and say the offense is still an absolute struggle bus, but what if it actually catches on? We have something special here. But here's the other thing that we got. Next 5 games for the Silver and Black. Very easy schedule. Again, nothing's ever given in the NFL, but you got Week 6, the New England Patriots, who look like arguably one of the worst teams in the NFL right now. Then you got Week 7 at Chicago, another 1-4 team. The Detroit Lions, yeah, that's going to be a tough one at Detroit on Monday Night Football. You can beat the Giants at 1-4, and then the New York Jets at 2-3 on Sunday Night Football, which I think Chugs and I might be there for. All I'm saying is this: you better win 3 out of your next 5, okay? You better win 3 out of your next 5. Honestly, though, you can win 4 out of your next 5 games. 4 out of your next 5 games and put yourself in a very good position as the stretch continues to go on. Because then after that, Miami's not going to be an easy one. The Chiefs, not going to be an easy one. But there's some other games coming up then that I think the Raiders might actually have a shot. So here we go, man. Let me know down in the comments section. Do you believe? Do you believe in the Raiders? You might not believe in Josh McDaniels. You might not believe in Jimmy Garoppolo. But do you believe in this team? It's going to be the pinned comment. And let me know. Believe it, baby, or tuck rule, tuck that. I believe in Raider Nation more than I believe in this football team, and that's why I'm going to sit up here confidently and say, I got no voice. I am hungover like you can't believe, but you know what? That's that commitment to excellence that Jeremy Chugs and I are going to be bringing every single day. And I haven't been able to do this often this season, so sub for Raiders dubs. The Raiders got a big-time win. I need you to click that subscribe button. When you walked into work today, did you have a little bit of a swagger? Or, I'm not going to lie, I walked in, I was like, oh, shit. I don't know if I should have done all those beer bongs. But you know what? Sometimes you got to pull up and you got to show out like an Oakland tailgate. Daily videos today. We're going to be live at 4 p.m. Eastern time on the Raiders Report. Then we're going to be live on Thursday night. If you're looking for free vids, I got you covered here. Make sure you're subscribed. Let's go to the next one here. It is Josh McDaniels still stinks. If you watch that football game, you probably already know the answer to this, and I'm going to give you my answer on this. But you know what? Shout out to our sponsor, Factor Meals. I rumbled, stumbled, and bumbled my way home last night, and it was so nice to be able to get home, pop a Factor meal in the microwave, eat, and I just crushed it. Went to sleep, but you know what? It was a great meal. It was healthy, which I definitely needed. There's no doubt about that. And one of the things that I love about Factor, I've been using them way before they were a sponsor here on the show. But, let's face it, if you're too busy this fall to cook, but still want to make sure that you're eating well, with Factor, skip the extra trip to the grocery store, all the chopping, the prep, and the cleaning up too, while just getting all the flavor and nutrition that you need. Factor's fresh, never frozen meals are ready in just 2 minutes. So all you have to do is heat and enjoy, then get back to crushing your goals. This October, get Factor and enjoy eating well without the hassle. Simply choose your meals and enjoy fresh, flavor-packed meals delivered to your door, ready in just 2 minutes. No prep, no mess. Head to factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 and use code RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. That's code RaidersChat50 at factormeals.com/RaidersChat50 to get 50% off. If you guys can't remember the link for whatever reason, don't worry. I'm going to put it down in the comments. It's also going to be in the description of today's video. Shout out to Factor for sponsoring our show. All right, let's go back to Josh McDaniels here. And does Josh McDaniels still stink? Guess what? This is 4 just win babies. Believe it, baby. I know that the Raiders won. I know. And I did not want to sit up here and rip apart McDaniels. I even said yesterday, I really wanted to do my best to not scream from the top of my lungs, fire Josh McDaniels. But you know what? You still watch a game like yesterday, and it makes me want to pull my hair out. I mean, the amount of trick plays that this team runs, you're running an offense from the 1970s. Like when you look at a lot of other teams and the trick plays they run, and then you look at the trick plays that McDaniels is running, I mean, it's almost embarrassing that you would even think that that's going to trick somebody. The Raiders tried to do a flea flicker for 5 yards yesterday. That's laughable. Think about that for a second. But it's just Jimmy Garoppolo. You handpicked your QB. He's got a terrible arm. Teams are going to continue to stack the box against Josh Jacobs, and moving the football is not going to be very easy. I hope Brandon Jasper come visits you because you're driving me nuts. This guy right here makes me want to go crazy because I can sit up here and I can say, I believe in this team. I do think that this team is moving in the right direction. But when you're ran by this guy, my goodness, it's frustrating. It is. It's frustrating. This team should still be able to move the football a lot better. I mean, Jakobi Meyers, 7 grabs, 75 yards, and a touchdown. Davante Adams, 4 for 45. Jacobs on the ground, 20 carries for 69 yards and a touchdown. But Jimmy Garoppolo, 22 of 31, 208, a touchdown and an interception. Jimmy Garoppolo needs to be better. And McDaniels, you handpicked him. You need to be able to figure out a way to get your quarterback going. You need to figure out a way to get your offense rolling, because the fact that this offense, with the amount of talent that it has yet to crack 20 points is embarrassing. You forced 3 turnovers yesterday on Jordan Love. 3 interceptions, and all you came away with is 17 points? Believe me, I'm a happy dude today because the Raiders got a dub. But you also got to look at the glass here, and the glass is telling me this, that you hired a offensive-minded guru, and he stinks offensively. Let's go to the defense now, shall we? Because if you would have told me at the beginning of the year that the Raiders would have 2 wins under their belt through 5 games and not have scored 20 points yet, I would have said, I don't know what you're drinking, but you need to put it down. The Raiders' defense is good this year. This is 3 just win babies, and I do think that it's pretty likely. You have to be able to look at the numbers, and I'll be the first to say, I wish that they would address their defensive tackle room. When you look at all the reports out there, it does sound like that the Raiders could potentially try to trade for an edge rusher this week, which now the fact that they won, I'll probably talk about some of those guys during our live today. But, I mean, when you look at this Raiders defense the entire season, you give up 13 points to the Green Bay Packers, but you get 3 big interceptions on Jordan Love, and you set up your offense a few times. You bail out your offense a few times. And you look at the Chargers game. I get it. The Chargers game, you still give up 24, but those last 2 quarters, you were able to hold the Chargers and Justin Herbert to nothing. When you turn the ball over the amount of times the Raiders did against the Chargers, that's going to put your defense in a really tough spot. Then you look at the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Defense played well in that one as well. Garoppolo turned the ball over 3 times. Yeah, the Buffalo Bills game was rough, no doubt about that, but your offense also couldn't move the ball. You only ran 39 plays. And then week 1 against the Broncos. I get it. The Broncos are bad, but that offense actually is not the problem in Denver. It's been the defense. My question to you is this. Do the Raiders have a top 16 defense? This is middle of the road. Do they have a slightly above average defense? Give me yes. Give me no. For the first time on this show, I am comfortably saying that the Las Vegas Raiders have a top 16 defense. And if they can get their offense together, because right now is a get-right stretch. You got 5 games going up against bad football teams, and you should be able to get your offense going. You should be able to get your defense going. But, I mean, for any offense, I get it. They didn't have Aaron Jones. We also did not have Nate Hobbs. You had a banged-up Marcus Epps. Shout out to Marcus Epps for playing through it. But Amik Robertson had himself a big game. And, I mean, what more could you ask for from Amik? I get it. People rip on him here and there for being too small. I think Amik thinks people hate on him a little bit more than what he actually has. But, like, steps up, makes a big-time interception. This guy right here, Maxx Crosby, continues to show why one of the best in the biz, one of the most underappreciated defensive players. Like, he had 5 tackles yesterday, Jeremy. 1 sack, 4 tackles for loss, a QB hit, was flying all over the football field. Trevon Merrick continues to be a pretty solid player in the secondary. I think he's continually stepping up. But, I mean, the biggest one for me is Robert Spillane. I mean, Robert Spillane, I'm going to look you dead in the eyes right now, and I know I've said it before. I owe you an apology. Like, I don't know if this is Madden. Dude had 1 interception his entire career. He gets 2. What's also funny is in our Madden simulation game against the Packers, Robert Spillane also had 2 interceptions in that game. It's a crazy, crazy thing. Sure, it was on a deflected play by Marcus Peters, but when you win the turnover battle, it's as simple as that, especially when you got 2 equal teams. But what I'm hoping is the Raiders can still clean it up because you won the turnover battle easily, but yet you still only won by 4 points. There's a lot of areas to grow, but you know what? A win is a win is a win, and I'll scream it from the top of my lungs to the best of my ability. It's just win, baby. We're going to keep this thing going here, and if you want to be able to join Jeremy Chuggs and I, remember, we're going to be live later today here on YouTube, and if you want to keep up to date on social media, I'm at Mitchell Renz 365 on Twitter, on Instagram, anywhere that you need that Raiders content. I promise you, we're keeping you up to date. I'll see you here in a little bit, 4 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Pacific, live on the Raiders Report.